Hey guys, welcome to Wellness Wednesday. So I'm just gonna wait a few seconds and see if anybody's gonna join us. And if you're joining on the reels, if you're looking through our grid and you see this, welcome. A little late, but better late than never. We're glad you're here. So I'm gonna go ahead and introduce myself. My name's Chloe Holton, and I'm the Caps and Shape Graduate Assistant. So this week's Wellness Wednesday, we're going to be talking about mental health stigma and Halloween. I know a lot of us really love Halloween. Personally, it's my favorite holiday. It's my favorite time of the year. I really love that it kind of kicks off the festive season. It's like a spooky start to the holiday season. And so that's why I chose this topic. So some of the information I'm going to be sharing, I'm going to go ahead and tell you guys. I actually got it from verywellmind.com. And it's a really good resource for kind of learning about some of the mental health stigma that surrounds Halloween and kind of some of the ways that we individually can help combat this and create a better view of mental health and mental illness year-round, not just throughout this season. So Halloween is a really fun time for many, but for those with mental illnesses, they may find that it can be a time of increased stigma, right? So the holiday itself is prone to stereotypes of many people, professions, and cultures. We know that there's a lot of problematic costumes, problematic practices, and it's really important to raise awareness for those types of things and to look inward and see how we are contributing to that and ways that we can help combat it. So unfortunately, mental illness is also very poorly represented. Costumes of all types often range from offensive to downright insensitive, right? Unfortunately, even Halloween movies and attractions are part of the problem. They showcase scenes that serve to further stereotype and stigmatize mental illness and mental health struggles. Haunted houses are sometimes presented as haunted asylums, where individuals with mental illnesses are depicted as frightening, violent, and just really problematic. Retailers often also offer costumes portraying those with mental illness as crazy, insane, violent, right? And oftentimes we see these costumes, there's metal pieces that prohibit people from talking and straitjackets. Everybody's seen those types of costumes before. And they've kind of become commonplace, but hopefully very soon we can start kind of combating that because it does, again, create a stigma around mental illness. So two common types of representations during Halloween. It's kind of a spectrum. So it ranges from very extreme mental illness is presented as something to be fearful of, something that's frightening, unpredictable, and a source of violence. And then on the other end of the spectrum, it's kind of portrayed as amusing and not that serious. Both are extremely harmful to those who are struggling with mental illness, those who are struggling with their mental health. Both depictions contribute to the worn out stereotypes around mental illness that prevent people from seeking help when they need it. So year-round mental illness is already subject to a lot of stigma, and people who are experiencing the symptoms of mental illness often hide their problems for fear of ramifications in their personal and their private lives. And also a lot of times it contributes to them either ignoring the symptoms or even resulting to self-treatment, which can be kind of not only dangerous for those around them, but for themselves. So it's really important to understand that characterizing an entire group of individuals as scary or dangerous because they have a psychological or psychiatric disorder is not only highly inaccurate, but it's really cruel. So kind of the meat of what we're going to be talking about is why is this stigma so dangerous, right? So with any kind of stigma, whether it be based on any facet or form of your identity, like race, gender identity, sexual identity, people tend to internalize that stigma, right? Making it less likely that they'll seek help specifically for mental illness or mental health problems. So thanks to portrayals of those with mental illness as unstable or even aggressive, people might experience a sense of embarrassment about their illnesses. And this stigma often involves feelings of shame, embarrassment, blame, and isolation, which is not very helpful, right? So like I said, rather than seeking help for their symptoms, a lot of people will either just ignore their symptoms or they'll try to self-treat out of fear of being labeled or stigmatized or alienated. So this is really unfortunate, right? Because there are many safe and effective treatment options for people who are struggling with their mental health and mental illnesses. And the sooner that people seek treatment, the sooner they can begin experiencing relief. So aside from stigma, some Halloween decorations and costumes can also be kind of triggering, right? Like gruesome scenes depicting violent crimes and gory costumes. So I think it's really important, and I just want to reiterate that kind of looking inward and seeing how we are contributing to this, like just being cognizant of like, you know, what we're doing to contribute, like what costumes we're wearing. And like I said, I love a good special effects moment. I love doing like crazy gory makeup. I love Halloween, but just kind of being cognizant, knowing your audience, who you're going to be around, and just being respectful of that, right? So if you take anything from this, I really want to talk about what we can actually do as individuals to kind of impact the situation and make a positive change, right? So not patronizing businesses and services that perpetuate these stigmatizing and offensive depictions of mental illness. That's super important. It's basically like putting our money where our mouth is. If we support these businesses and these retailers that are aware of their problematic costumes, aware of their problematic practices around Halloween, we're just as bad and part of the problem, but making sure that we are not contributing to the stigma and negative stereotypes is really important. And then being conscious of the media that we consume and the costumes we wear, just like I was just saying, it's super important, right? And so, unfortunately, we might also want to prepare for some backlash, as some people may suggest that, you know, you're overly sensitive or you're being too politically correct. You know, at the end of the day, just making someone feel more safe, feel more secure, that's really one of the kindest things you can do. And it's important to realize that during the holiday season, I call it the holiday season because I love Halloween, so it's my favorite holiday. You can still enjoy the holiday, but it can still be a time for reflection of the ways that, you know, we've participated in the past and the ways that we're still contributing to these negative stereotypes and stigmatization of mental illness. And just moving forward, trying to change that for the better. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this Wellness Wednesday. I hope you guys have a safe and fun Halloween. And we will see you guys at the next Wellness Wednesday. Happy Halloween!